Haha, not really. I just thought I'd make that point because, as usual, and this is something I have to put up with on most days, is somebody making some kind of snarky comment. Yesterday being one from the lovely Carol telling me I talk too much in my videos. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a tutorial where I explain things to people, and particularly those who are new in the field need step-by-step instruction. So sorry that it doesn't suit you, Carol, but I'm not going to change it just because you don't like it. And oh, the other thing she said was, apparently, because I didn't accept her criticism, I'm not a true artist. Well, sorry, again, sorry, not sorry. I didn't think I had to agree with your criticism, and especially as it wasn't constructive or helpful in any way. I dismiss it, and that's how I handled it. So you can take that how you want, love. But I'll do my videos how I see fit, and if you don't like them, you don't have to watch them. No skin off my nose. Moving on, rant over. I'm going to show you how to make a faux ceramic heart pendant. So I've got myself this mould, or you could just use a cutter. Again, as I always say, this is a Yaroslav mould, but unfortunately his Etsy shop is currently closed because he's based in Russia. So whatever you can find, it doesn't even have to be a heart shape if you don't want it to be. Anyway, so a mould or a cutter of your choice. You're going to need some little flower stamps, something where you can get tiny flowers like this rose mould that I've got, which I will list all this stuff, not that because that's Yaroslav molds, but all this stuff that I'm going to show you is in my Amazon storefront link in my description, You'll also need some UV resin, some black acrylic paint. I'm using some blue mica powder, you don't have to use blue. Something to mix your resin and mica powder with, like one of these silicone brushes. Again, these are linked. And I've also got this really cool set of little wooden stamps with the stamp itself is made of metal, but they make a really cool impression on the thing that I want to make today. So again, I will leave a link for that. Actually, I think it came in a set of, I think there was 4 or 5 pieces in the set, so I'll leave a link to those. Alright, so I've got my heart mould. I'm just trying to make it as clean as I can because I know me, I tend to not clean things very well. Just dry it off a little bit, and I'm just going to take my white clay and stuff it in the mould. Simple as that. Like so. Just make sure it's nicely pressed in there. And I'm going to use my blade to trim off the excess. Oh, and guys, I don't know if you saw my last video where I showed you my heart wall hanging and I used Swelligant on it, and I said in the video then, don't get the Swelligant on anything metal because it will rust it. And I did. Oops, and it rusted it. The blade's still workable, functional, but it does rust things if you're not careful. So just a heads up, do as I say, not as I do. So I've just got my heart in there, my clay in there. Give it a bit of a press. I'm going to give it a little bit of a wipe with some rubbing alcohol just to clean the back off, although I probably will resin this, so it's not too much of a concern. And I'm just going to get a piece of card and pop that on there like so, and that's it. Simple. Again, I'm just going to give this a quick wipe because somehow it's got dirt in it yet again, and another hair. Seriously, having pets can be the bane of me sometimes. Can't keep anything clean, especially down here, because for some reason they all want to be down here when I'm here, especially Tipsy, and that was definitely a little tipsy hair, which, by the way, we've changed her name to Keith. Don't ask me why. I'm not sure how. It was me that came up with it, but I don't really know why. I think something on TV triggered me, and I'm like, ooh, Tipsy looks like a Keith. Let's call her Keith. Her name's still Tipsy, really, but we refer to her as Keith sometimes as well. She kind of looks like a Keith, actually. Alright, I don't know. I cannot get this clean. And it's getting on my pip now. Anyway, I'm going to take that lovely stamp that I showed you, and I'm just going to press into one side of this heart. Now, with these, don't press down too far because the clay does get stuck in those little grooves and such like. It's more of an impression that you get in. And I think it's more to use as with ink on it to make a stamp like that, but I thought it would be cool to use it as the design in this heart. So I'm just cutting that down, and of course you don't have to use these same ones as me at all. You could use any stamp you wanted. I'm just going to grab something else, and I don't even know what you'd call this, but it's like a little texture wheel thing. I'm not sure if I got them from Amazon or not. If I did, I'll leave the link. But I'm scared to do this in case it doesn't work out. No, I'm not going to. I've changed my mind. I just wanted some other little pattern down there. And I think what I'm going to do is just get a pokey tool. Yeah, I don't know if I want that one though. Let me find a different one. This is me just ad-libbing right now, guys. Anyway, I'm just going to make, I don't know if that's too big. One of these days I'm going to take a picture of my whole desk and show you, and you'll see what a mess it is, and that's why I can never find anything. Let's just go with this. I just wanted to make, no, I am going to go with this small one. I just wanted to make a little bit more of a pattern. Like so. Just little wavy dots. A wavy line of dots, should I say. Anything you want really, guys, just to decorate it, but I'm just going to go with that, and I'm just going to do another one here, just following that same line. This is a really simple thing to do, but I thought I'd show anyway. I think a lot of people like simple because it makes them feel like they can actually do it. You don't have to be complicated to make something pretty, you know? That's my opinion anyway. Alright, so I've got my little pattern going on there, and then we've just got this side left where we can put some of these little roses. So I'm just going to take some more white clay, try and get the smaller ones. Just scrape off that excess, and I think I'll make them all different. I don't think I'll use the same ones. How many do you think I'll need? Maybe 3, because it's not that big of a pendant. Just squash those in there like so. Pop them out. This is actually a really, really good solid mould. I was quite impressed with it. It's just really solid. It's not cheap rubbish, and then it wasn't that expensive. Okay, let's just grab some liquid clay just for extra sticky security, and just take each of your little moulds. Oops, not that much, and just pop them on your pendant like so. It's as simple as that, guys. It's just quick and easy way of making a pretty piece. Alright, so I've just pressed those down on there, and what I'm going to do now is bake it, and I'll be back. Guys, I'm back just for a quick second. I thought I'd add a little bit of crackle to this. You don't have to. I just thought it might add a little bit of interest. So I've got my distress crackle paint and a brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit on in areas. It just adds to that ceramic-y look. I wasn't going to, it just sort of came to me just now that, oh, it would look really good with a little bit of crackle. So I'm just putting a little bit on. I don't want anything major on that, like so. And maybe just a little bit over here. Again, it's all on you where you want to put it, or even if you want to use it at all. But personally, I really like the crackle look, so I'm going to go ahead with that little ooh moment that I had. Alright, so I've just added a little bit of crackle. That needs to be left to dry, and then I will go and bake it. Alright guys, so that was just a little add-on if you were interested in doing that. Be back. Alright guys, this is baked, and I changed my mind about the mica powder. I'm not going to use mica powder after all. I'm going to use one of these soft pastels. So I'm just going to pick out a colour, and I think I'll go with this blue. So that was just a little executive decision I made. I just think it will look better for the faux ceramic look. So that being said, let's start with the black acrylic paint to start with. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bit on my tile. She says a little tiny bit. A little too much, but never mind. And I'm just going to find a brush that isn't icky. And I'm just going to take some paint on my brush and just dab it all over the piece, particularly where those patterned areas are. Try and get down in the grooves a little bit. So I'm just kind of dabbing it on like this. And let's just take it up to there. I really want to make sure it gets in all the little nooks and crannies. So I'm putting quite a bit of paint on my brush, as you can see. Let's just dab some on those roses. I am literally covering the whole piece. I'm not so bothered about covering all of the roses, but for the most part, I'm just covering that whole pendant, like so. And then I need a wet wipe, and again, I don't have one. Disorganised today, so I'm just going to wet a piece of paper towel. It's fine. And I'm just going to rub this baby back off. Like so. Oh my goodness, messy. Like that. And I'm just going to wipe my hands. I really need to get some wet wipes. I keep forgetting to buy some. I'm just going to wet this again. I'm going to get a clean piece. Just clean it up a little bit. And you can see there's just a little bit of crackle on this, not too much. getting my painty fingers all over it. And one last time, guys, because I'm getting in a right pickle here. Just want to get some of that extra black off there. And you can see that the paint has actually stained the clay. It's not as white as it was, but I'm totally happy with that. Alright, so that's as much as I'm going to clean it, I think. Maybe just a little bit in there. Just give it one last rub. Yeah, I'm going to give it another rub. Alright, so we have got this really aged kind of look, which you may have noticed I'm kind of into that really. I kind of like that aged, vintage, rusticy look. As much as I like faux stones and things, you know, I am more of a rustic person, believe it or not. If you can be a rustic person. Rustic taste is what I mean. Alright, let me just wipe some of this black paint away. This acrylic paint is like really good, but it's a bit of a pain to clean. It's that good. Okay, so like I say, I changed my mind about the mica powder and I'm going with some chalk pastel, soft pastel, and I'm just going to scrape a little bit off onto the tile. I don't need much because I don't want the resin to be too overtaken with colour. I want to keep it as translucent as I can. So I'm just going to mix that in there like this, and maybe not even all of it. Now, as you can see, and this is why I decided to go with this, you can still see some bigger flecks of the pastel, and that's kind of what I wanted. And I just feel like the mica powder would have been a bit too shiny. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I'm going with this. So I might just put a little bit more in. Just give it a good old mix. And then we're just literally going to add this to the top of the pendant, like so. Just kind of dribble it over there. And it's a good idea to put it on a tile like I've done with some sticky tape, sticky side up, so you can just place your piece on there so it doesn't move around as you resin. And just take it over to the edges. I'm debating whether to do the whole thing in the blue. I might just do clear resin on some of it. I'm just going to see how this looks. To be honest with you guys, I didn't really plan this. I didn't this tutorial. I just thought, oh, I'll have a play and see how it works out. And I thought, why not record it as I'm going along? For the most part, I will do a practice run. This one I didn't. I just kind of thought, oh, like I say, I'll just record it as I go and hope for the best. I mean, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, obviously, but I just didn't practice it first. Now, as you can see, some of my resin's dribbled down the side. Don't panic if it does that. It does mean you're going to have to go back and sand it off. I was a little bit careless there, and plus this is slightly domed, so it's very easy to do. So once this is cured, I'll have to go back and just sand. I'm just going to get a little bit more of that chalk in there, a pastel, make it a little bit darker, and just add some darker down here. Just play around. I'm just mixing that in a little bit and kind of blending it into the lighter blue. And you can just Add little darker bits here and there, whatever you fancy really. I kind of like that. So, just going to add a little bit more of the darker. Try and make sure this resin is relatively level and it's still dripping on me. But I'm not worried. All I do is just take the excess and wipe it off and then just do this. So I think all I'm going to do now for the blue, I think I am going to do the rest of it clear, but I'm just going to add a little bit of the blue onto the roses just to highlight them, like so. Okay, I'm still wiping away that dribble down the side, so I might as well just use it on here. So I'm just playing around, I'm just, you know, building up darker areas wherever I think looks good, just by adding a little bit more of the pastel in there. I think I'll add a little bit of a darker bit just there to highlight that little petal, whatever it is. So there you go, just keep playing. And I'm just going to add just a touch more blue on some of these. And I'm going to go and cure this under my UV lamp. I'm not going to do a full cure because I'm going to come back and resin the whole piece in just resin. So once that's cured, I'll be back. This has cured, not for very long, so it's not a complete cure on it, but it's enough for me to work with. So I'm just going to get some more resin, but I'm not going to add anything to it. I'm just going to keep it clear and just resin the rest of this. Okay, so I'm just going to add this on here. Try not to get it dribbling down the sides again if I can help it, but I probably will. I'm going to take it over this side as well, so the whole piece is going to be covered in this clear resin. That way I'm not going to leave an obvious line between the one side and the other, because it all gets like moulded together. Now the other thing you could do is add some white chalk or paint or something into your UV resin and fill in little areas like these little leaves on here with the white if you wanted to. I'm just throwing out ideas. I'm not going to do that, but you could. So I'm just going to take this around here, make sure it's all covered right up to the edge and even around those roses a little bit, just to seal in that paint. Just kind of brushing it over those really. And I'm just going to go around and make sure I've got everywhere. And I think I have. So I'm just going to give this a quick flash with my lighter, and this will go back under the UV lamp and give it a full cure. Alright guys, so there we go. I'm just going to go and cure this and then I'll be back again. There we go guys, all done. Cured on the front, I've added a pinch bail and a cord, and I just resined and glittered the back. If you want to know how I do this, there is a tutorial for it. I will leave a link in the description. But that's all for today guys, just a quick easy one. Thanks for watching, catch you later, bye.